are going to be covering how I did 30,000 words in a month. That's me showing you guys where I'm going to put all the words once I'm done editing this, which is currently where I'm at. So if you don't know, I'm writing a book called Journey to Joy. For me, it was quite a big deal that I was able to write 30,000 words in a month. So I'm going to be sharing with you guys just some of the ways that I was able to do that in the month of January. This here is just me making my coffee. I decided about maybe 30 minutes into writing that I wanted to make myself coffee. It was also because my phone died and I was filming on my phone, so I kind of had to charge my phone in order to be able to do this. I actually had it plugged in. You can see the plug in the bottom corner. That's where I was charging my phone while I was recording all of this. So in actuality, after doing the math and careful consideration, in the month of January, I did 35,000 and some change words. Back to making my coffee and sharing with you guys how I wrote 30,000 words. One of the ways that I was able to write 30,000 words was that I had a system. I watched a YouTube video and a famous author said, if you try to set goals, you're going to fail every time. So instead of setting goals, you should create systems, because systems are designed to succeed. So that's what I did. For my lifestyle, for my workload, and for my ambitions, I set myself out to write 5 days a week. It didn't matter how many words I got down each day. I just wanted to write down 5 days a week. So if I could write 5 days a week, then I would feel like I was successful. I could write 100 words of each of those days. I could write 1,000 words each of those days. But I just wanted to write 5 days a week. Look how amazing these cupcakes look. We have this really cool coffee machine that allows us to not only put our creamer, but our coffee in it. So it froths up our milk or our creamer, and then it goes ahead and just starts dripping the coffee in, which I think is amazing. Another super important thing I did was I always created a positive writing environment. I always wanted to make sure that no matter where it was that I was writing, I enjoyed my space, I enjoyed my music. I did anything that I needed in order to be able to create a space where I felt the best. When you're creating, you want to be at your peak. So writing in a coffee shop, whether that looks like writing in the library, writing at a desk in your room, giving yourself a designated area where you can grow and be creative and begin to evolve these stories that you have inside of your mind. I think that's the biggest advice that I have for anybody who's trying to write a book or is struggling in their writing or just feels like they're stuck creatively. You have to take a look around at your environment. Where is it that you're writing? How are you accommodating yourself to be able to have a good writing space? And are there things that you can do to make yourself feel more comfortable in the place that you're writing at? The The reason you see a big black box on top of my iPad isn't because your screen is messed up. It's because I added it there. I didn't realize that you can read all the words that I was typing. I didn't realize my screen was that bright. I thought the angle that I was in would hopefully cover it, but after looking at it, I realized you can basically get the entire 14th chapter, and I didn't want to spoil that for anyone. Tip number 3 I have for anybody who is trying to write, or authors that are struggling, is write an outline. I know they only recommend that for nonfiction writers, but to be honest, I'm a fiction writer and it has made all the difference in my writing. I feel so much more confident in the storyline. If I feel like I'm trailing away, I can look back at my outline and realize that maybe, hey, I can fix this here, or this is where I was originally intending to go with the story. This is how I'm going to fix it, or just anything that I need to do, adjustments that need to be made, or arcs that have been added to the storyline. I can always go back to reference my outline. So I would 1,000,000% recommend using and writing an outline for your book. Tip number 4 is don't put any pressure on yourself as a writer. I know, coming from somebody who's talking about writing 30,000 words in a month, that can be like, okay, well, that's a little hypocritical. I mean it. Do not put any pressure on yourself as a writer. I simply just went with the flow. I wrote what I could, and some days I couldn't write at all, so I didn't. I didn't force myself to do something or be something that I felt like I didn't have the energy or the time to be. I simply put into my book what I could, and what I got out was what I got out. Some days are going to be a whole lot better than others, and I've heard this from other authors, and I'm going to push this forward. Keep writing. If you're having a good writing day, keep writing, because you don't know when you're going to have another good writing day, and you want to take advantage of the creative space that your mind has for you in that moment. This isn't really a tip that's been passed on to me or that I heard of, so much more as just a hack or something that I found to work for me. When I'm on the road, when I'm out, when I'm on my lunch, when I'm not physically able to sit down at my desk and write, I record on my voice memos what it is that I want to say, what I'm trying to write, so that when I get home, I can transcribe everything onto my notes.